I did. It was to get like to later. What happened was I stayed a long time, and at some stage I was locked up because the family decided that I wasn't learning how to be a proper Saudi girl. So since they decided my mother was incompetent of doing the task, I was handed over to my aunt Zakia, and I received what I call my wife training days. I had nothing to do. I was locked in a room for 6 months, and I had a choice: stay in that room with nothing, or get out once in a while to be trained by my aunt. She would sit me at a table. She would ask me questions. She would appeal to my logical mind. Men need four wives. You need to accept this. And I'd be like, well, no, I don't. And she would say, well, what if you can't have children? Don't you want him to have heirs? I'm like, well, yeah. I'm only 16 at this time. And she's like, well, would you deny him that? I'm like, no. She said, would you rather he left you and married another woman, or would you rather he married another? I'm like, well, I guess I'd rather he married another woman than left me, because I'm thinking of my uncle, because I'm in love with him at this, like, I'm young. Of course I want to keep him. And it was simple questions like that. She even trained me in holding the tipsy the tray and the glasses, and I broke so many glasses we had to go to the Priadin store and buy new ones because I couldn't balance the tray like my cousins could. And then I eventually realized, so imagine 11 to 16 to 17 to 18. At 18, I realized there's only one way out. I have to get married. But if I'm going to get married, I decided I wouldn't marry a Saudi no matter what, because I seen my uncles. I know my family. My aunt Hind, I remember seeing the bruises on her, and the way she looked. She always looked like a fawn that got chased and run down. And I saw the way my stepdad was, and I saw the way his brothers were. And then I thought, I don't want anything to do with this. It's very dangerous. And I'm so young. I mean, when I remember it now, I'm like, holy crap. I'm like thinking about all of this at this age. Like, writing my autobiography helped me like recall like my thought process. Like, why didn't I do this? Like, asking myself, and like, I remember this and I remember that. And I finally convinced my stepdad to let me go to a computer institute to study computers. I said it would be a good use of my time, and he thought it would make me it would get me better bride price. I was already like prime beef basically, because I had an American passport and I was white and I had colored eyes, blah, blah, blah. But added a small degree in there. They refused to let me go to college. They said, when you get married, your husband will decide if you go to college. Maybe he doesn't want you to go to college. Maybe he doesn't want an educated girl, and that could ruin your prospects. So I'm like, well, couldn't I just go to an institute and study something just to fill my time, Baba, please, And he agreed. So we went to an institute, and they gave us a class in cyber chatting, which was fun. And I've never seen anything like it. Like like in Saudi Arabia, like when the internet arrived, it was like a marvel for us, because, it used to be if the girls would, drive past the cars and like throw their phone numbers, and then would get on the phone at night and we'd talk to someone we've never met before, just to have that kind of communication. So we went through this cyber class, and I remember I was I was trying to be really good. After my wife training with my aunt, I was very trying to be really good. When you get locked up for 6 months, you don't want to get locked up again. I mean, it worked. I was very okay, I'm just going to behave. I'm going to follow the rules, and I'm going to plot my way out of here. So whatever they want. So we went in this cyber class, and I remember all these boys in there saying, what's your name? Send me your picture. I don't know. I'm like, ew, I don't know. I can't talk to boys. I'm not allowed to talk to boys. And then there was this one girl, which I thought was a girl. And she was like, how are you? I'm like, oh, that's nice. So I'm like, I'm good. Thank you. How are you? And they're like, oh, I have to go to my next class, but you can meet me on Messenger. And they're like, okay. So we met on Messenger. We talked for 2 weeks. And then he says, do you cover your hair? And I said, yes. Don't you? And he said, I'm not a girl. I'm a boy. And I'm like, block, delete. And then I remember pacing in my room at night, Well, it can't hurt to talk to him. It's not like he can see me. What am I doing wrong? I'm not doing anything wrong. I mean, nobody's gonna find out. I mean, he lives in Canada. What could be the worst thing that could happen? And and so I finally unblocked him. And this like whole converse, like it was nice having a friend, who didn't really judge, who was Muslim. He was Syrian. He was from Halab, but he was Canadian. So he was very open minded. And I thought about it and I thought, that's the way. Someone with a passport already is not interested in marrying me for my passport. Imagine at 15, my first marriage proposal was from a Saudi, my cousin. And the first thing I thought of was, if he marries me, and they all say it, oh, you'll get married, he'll go to college in America, and then he's going to dump me off somewhere. And I have no skills. I have no skills. I am not trained to survive on my own. I'm frightened to death. They make you that way on purpose, because if you think about running away, even with an American passport, you think, what am I going to do?